Dreamworks All-Star Kart Racing, a surprisingly awesome and fun kart racer. Hi, my name's CinnaBunny, and this is Dreamworks All-Star Kart Racing. The basics are as follows. On PC, acceleration, turning and braking are controlled with the arrow keys. It feels a little unorthodox, but I grew to enjoy it. The drift is controlled with the A key. A drift can be wide or tight. Holding a drift for long enough gives a drift boost, stacking up to 3 times, from orange to blue then purple. Purple is the maximum drift boost. Some maps require a drift and it gives a good feel for it. Pressing the drift key and ramping a jump will perform an aerial stunt. Aerial stunts give a small boost when you land. At the start of any race, there is a brief rhythm game, with 3 potential inputs. Getting each one correct will award you with a starting boost, up to a purple boost. Now for some of this game's unique mechanics. Drift pads. A long piano keyboard that you can drift on. These have different effects. The purple and blue drift pads give you a drift boost, letting you accelerate to extreme speeds for a brief period. The yellow drift pads give musical notes. Musical notes can be obtained throughout a race, either by picking them up on a track, or by drifting on a yellow drift pad. Picking up a musical note will cause trolls to spawn on your kart. These little trolls. There's 6 troll hosts. Each has different effect on the race. Some have hazards, others spawn more ramps, items and boost pads. Collecting enough musical notes will grant you with a random power, a boost or an item duplicator. The boost is pretty decent. It gives some good speed and allows you to race at full speed when going off-road. The item duplicator will copy a held item and put it into the power slot, allowing it to be used. If it's a multi-use item, it will only have one use when copied into the power slot. Now for the items. Items can be picked up throughout a race. Driving through an item box will give a random item. A lucky charm, a guitar, a poison apple, a fish, a flail, or a bag, which can grant up to 3 random items. The lucky charm changes for each character. Poe has a dumpling, Shrek has an onion, Hiccup has a helmet, and so on. They appear different for each character, but they all do the same thing. A hazard that can be dropped behind or thrown forwards. The guitar will grant a small sum of musical notes. The poison apple does the same as a lucky charm, a droppable or throwable hazard. The fish will spawn in a puddle of fish, slowing down races. The flail is a 3-use weapon that can be thrown forwards or backwards. The bag has up to 3 random items in it. Now onto another unique mechanic, magical paths. There's always at least one magical path on a track. The magical paths are activated by driving into this icon on the track. It will spawn a magical path. There can be up to 4 segments on the path, each activated by the icons. The path is generated upon getting each sequential icon. The magical paths are small shortcuts in the track. They cut a second or 2 off the race. However, they do disappear a few seconds after being activated. If someone activated a magical path before you and you see it blinking, it might be better to take the track normally rather than risking falling off the path. Okay, let's move on to the game modes. There's 4. Cups, which is the Grand Prix mode. Free Race, which lets you race on any map. Challenges, which is some fun and creative ways to play. And finally, Time Trials. In the Grand Prix, there's 6 cups with 4 difficulties. Relaxed, Regular, Turbo, and Lightning. These different modes change the difficulty of the AI more than anything. In Relaxed, it's quite easy to win. In Lightning, it's a struggle to get to the top 3 of a race. 5 cups are accessible at any time in the Grand Prix mode, but the 6th cup is locked until all other cups have been won on that difficulty, adding an air of completionism. A cup has 4 races in it, one after the other. Finishing first in all 4 races will award you with 3 stars. Getting into the top 3 will award 1 to 2 stars. Completing a cup will unlock a new racer. There's 6 races to unlock through the Grand Prix mode. The next mode is the Free Race mode. This allows you to change the speed and difficulty of the races, which troll will host the race, and how many laps there are. It's a good way to get familiar with a racetrack and learn of any shortcuts there may be. Next is the challenges. There are 36 challenges. Each challenge can either be tough or fun, like performing a certain amount of drift boosts in a race or hitting a certain amount of races with a particular weapon. At the end of a challenge set, there is a boss battle. A 1 versus 1 race where you have to race an opponent. If you beat them, you unlock that character. Easily the hardest boss battle in the challenges was Mr. Wolf versus Diane Foxington. She's a perfect racer, and it doesn't help that Mr. Wolf has some fairly below average stats with his stock kart. There are 6 races that can be unlocked through the challenge mode. Finally, the time trials mode. This is a race where you race alone, or with a ghost. You race to beat the clock or the ghost. The ghost has a genuinely good time, so to beat them you have to be fast and drive well. With everything else covered, I'll briefly mention which properties and characters are in Dreamworks All-Star Kart Racing. There is Kung Fu Panda, which includes Po, Tigress, Master Oogway, and Master Shifu. Shrek, which includes Shrek, Fiona, Donkey, and Lord Farquaad. Puss in Boots, which includes Puss in Boots, Kitty Softpaws, and Wolf, or Death. Madagascar, which includes Alex the Lion and King Julian. How to Train Your Dragon, which includes Hiccup and Astrid. Trolls, which includes King Gristle and Bridget, alongside all the little trolls that spawn on the karts. Bad Guys, which includes Mr. Wolf and Diane Foxington. Megamind, which includes Megamind. Finally, Boss Baby, which includes Theodore Templeton and Tina Templeton. Some fun characters from a good chunk of Dreamworks roster of characters. A thing to note is the voices don't sound exactly like they do in the movies. This is because each character is voiced by a different person. Given the actors who voiced all these characters are no doubt very expensive, for what there is, I feel the voice actors did a fine job. Dreamworks All-Star Kart Racing is a fine game. I quite enjoy it a lot. It's a good side grade to the Mario Kart series. No, it's not as good as Mario Kart, both graphically and gameplay wise, but it's still a great game. And in terms of kart races that aren't Mario Kart, this is a pretty good one. I personally love it. If you enjoyed the gameplay of the video, then go check it out for yourself. It can be played on PC, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. If you like the video, check out my other stuff. I check out some cool and fun games. For now though, I've been CinnaBunny, and I'll catch you later, mate.